Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the beginner photography class. I take a lot of pictures when visiting nearby or other areas. It can be a recorded picture for memories or a simple scene picture. Today, I will introduce some simple and tips for beginners to easily take travel photos for everyone. Part 2. Ten ways to take easy travel photography tips. Today we'll talk about 1. There are too many subjects. 2. Blur the background. 3. Use a tripod for the night. 4. Be greedy for equipment. 5. Do not read the manual. 6. Relying on camera LCD. 7. High and lower resolution. 8. Check the ISO value. 9. Neglect camera care. 10. Use UV filters. 1. There are too many subjects. When you are interested in photography, the first thing to try is to take a portrait of someone you know or take pictures of beautiful landscapes. Also, accessing landscape photography is one of the easiest for beginners, but knowing the background and composition will give you a beautiful picture. Unfortunately, landscape photography can easily become meaningless and vague if the subject composition is not clear.
Desafortunadamente, la fotografía de paisajes puede volverse fácilmente sin sentido y vaga si la composición del sujeto no es clara.
Two. Unconditionally blur the background of the subject. The temptation of a novice photographer is that the depth of field is shallow. It will be a portrait photo with a blurred background. In beautiful portraits, you need to use the background effectively to make your portraits stand out. It's also one of the motives for many people to buy expensive DSLRs, but it's a great way to differentiate your main subject from other objects.
También es uno de los motivos por los que muchas personas compran cámaras reflex digitales caras, pero es una excelente manera de diferenciar el sujeto principal de otros objetos.
Three. Do you use a tripod only for night photography? There are several reasons for shaky photos. In my previous video, how to not to shake your pictures. Avoid blurry photos and reduce camera shake. Once shaken, the photo becomes useless. The basics for taking good pictures is to shoot without shaking. Even if you are shooting at night, on a windy day, or indoors with insufficient lighting, you can use a tripod to minimize shaking. You can also take a picture using a window frame or objects around you.
Incluso si está filmando de noche, en un día ventoso o en interiores con iluminación insuficiente, puede utilizar un trípode para minimizar las sacudidas. También puede tomar una foto usando un marco de ventana u objetos a su alrededor.
4. Do not be greedy with excessive equipment. When taking pictures, pay great attention to buying new lenses or accessories. But what's obvious is that it's difficult to take good pictures when you're obsessed with gear. Get only the equipment you need. For example, it is of utmost importance to use one lens consistently to learn the angle of view and the characteristics of the lens. Equipment is just one of the possibilities for taking good pictures. It's not an absolute requirement. All you have to do is choose the equipment that fits your shooting needs and economically.
El equipo es solo una de las posibilidades para tomar buenas fotografías, no es un requisito absoluto. Todo lo que tiene que hacer es elegir el equipo que se adapte a sus necesidades de filmación y de forma económica.
If you have any difficulty to take pictures with the equipment you have, you can change the settings of pictures that can be taken to the appropriate equipment.
Si tiene alguna dificultad para tomar fotografías con el equipo que tiene, puede cambiar la configuración de las fotografías que se pueden tomar al equipo apropiado.
Often, one of the reasons isn't because I don't have good equipment, but rather a lack of ideas.
A menudo, una de las razones no es porque no tenga un buen equipo, sino por falta de ideas.
Five. Read the manual. People around often questions about the camera feature, but unfortunately, most of the questions are on the main page of the camera's manual. If you understand the basic camera and how it works, understand the controls and features, you can take better pictures. 6. Depends on the camera LCD screen. If you look at a novice photographer taking pictures, you can see that each person takes a picture, checks the picture taken, and deletes it. If you don't like it, you can erase it and take it again. But on the camera LCD screen, it's difficult to accurately determine whether the picture was shaken or the exposure is adequate. Therefore, it is better to retake without erasing, even if it is a little strange when viewed in the field. If you check the picture after taking the picture, your posture will be disturbed and the picture may shake.
Therefore, it is better to retake without erasing, even if it is a little strange when viewed in the field. If you check the picture after taking the picture, your posture will be disturbed and the picture may shake.
The habit of checking photos often blows away the most important concept opportunities in the photography process. Unbeknownst to me, if the picture is not good, the idea of erasing it and taking it again can become easier.
The habit of checking photos often blows away the most important concept opportunities in the photography process. Unbeknownst to me, if the picture is not good, the idea of erasing it and taking it again can become easier.
7. Would you like to take pictures in a lower resolution? Shooting at a maximum resolution such as RAW increases the file size, in which case there are inconveniences such as slowing down review speed and requiring a large amount of memory for storage. However, keeping the original file as much as possible is beneficial for post-modification. Therefore, it is recommended to shoot at the maximum resolution when considering printouts and enlarged photographs. JPG files are compressed files that are easy to transfer.
Por lo tanto, se recomienda disparar con la máxima resolución al considerar impresiones y fotografías ampliadas. Los archivos JPEG son archivos comprimidos que son fáciles de transferir.
8. Make it a habit to always check the ISO. These days, as many cameras that support high ISO sensitivity are released, the utilization of ISO has become very high. In situations where there is insufficient light, high-sensitivity ISO is used to secure shutter speed, but beginners who are not familiar with ISO settings sometimes ruin photos because of ISO. Shooting with high ISO sensitivity in low light conditions is a great help in taking pictures without blurring.
Disparar con una sensibilidad ISO alta en condiciones de poca luz es de gran ayuda para tomar fotografías sin desenfocar.
However, if you shoot in a bright place with a high ISO, overexposure and severe noise will ruin the photo. When there is enough light, lowering the ISO will give a sharper and clearer picture. Make it a habit to always check the ISO value before shooting.
Sin embargo, si dispara en un lugar brillante con un ISO alto, la sobreexposición y el ruido intenso arruinarán la foto. Cuando hay suficiente luz, bajar el ISO dará una imagen más nítida y clara. Adquiera el hábito de comprobar siempre el valor ISO antes de disparar.
9. Do not neglect camera care. No matter how good the camera and equipment you have, you won't get good photos if you neglect your attention. Before shooting and after going back, you need to remove fingerprints and dust from the camera and lens. Any dust that may stick to the sensor should be cleaned with a dust cleaner hand blower.
Antes de disparar y después de volver, debe eliminar las huellas dactilares y el polvo de la cámara y el objetivo. Cualquier polvo que pueda adherirse al sensor debe limpiarse con un limpiador de polvo con un soplador de mano.
10. Are UV filters considered essential? Are UV filters required when buying lenses? Sometimes they come together as a kit. Rather than protecting the lens from UV rays, UV filters mitigate the impact and do more to prevent dirt or scratches on the lens surface. So I think you should get the ND or CPL filter rather than a UV filter.
En lugar de proteger la lente de los rayos UV, los filtros UV mitigan el impacto y hacen más para evitar la suciedad o los arañazos en la superficie de la lente. Entonces creo que debería obtener el filtro ND o CPL en lugar de un filtro UV. Un filtro CPL, que significa polarizador circular lineal, es un accesorio de vidrio que puede reducir el deslumbramiento de las superficies reflejadas. Para ello, toma lo que podría denominarse obstáculos, como la luz, los reflejos o el color no deseados, y los reduce hasta cierto punto. ¿Cuándo no debería utilizar un filtro CPL? Entre los más importantes está que los polarizadores funcionan mejor cuando están en un ángulo de 90 grados con respecto al sol. Esto significa que prácticamente nunca debería utilizar un polarizador que mire directamente hacia el sol. Otra razón para quitar el filtro para tomas que incluyen el sol es que el vidrio adicional puede provocar más quemaduras.
It's easier to learn about photography and cameras if you can attend community college photography group classes or college classes. Today, I did introduce easy tips for beginners to easily take travel photos. For everyone, I have explained how to practice as simple and easy as possible. But if you understand this, camera shooting seems not that difficult. In the next video, I will show you some more informative aspects of photography.